Good evening, pals. This is English Line Down, Tuesday, Wednesday, June 9th and 10th. Please make sure you review 6 previous days' material. So today is 29:30. Question: in hospital or in the hospital? And the answer is quite comprehensive. Whether to use that before hospital is a well established but mysterious difference between British and American English. People in the UK say they are in hospital, and people in the US say they are in the hospital. There doesn't seem to be any logical reason why we use the word "the" here. It's rarely added for similar terms. For example, if you were attending college, you wouldn't say you were in the college. You'd say you were in college. And if you had ended up on the wrong side of the law, you wouldn't say you were in the prison, you'd say you were in prison. There are certain instances when you would use the word "the" though. When we leave off "the", we're indicating that we have a certain ongoing relationship with these institutions. We are a student at college, for example, or an inmate in prison. Since people in Britain and America have different healthcare systems, maybe the British feel that they have more of a relationship with their hospitals than we do in America. But that's just a wild guess. We do sometimes use the word "that" with similar words like college or prison, though. And when we do, we're usually saying something different. We're specifying a place. For example, you could say that you're visiting the college your mom attended, or that the electricity was out in the prison nearby. To wrap up, in hospital versus in the hospital are regional difference between the US, UK, and US English. There is no established reason this difference is developed, at least none that we can pinpoint for sure. Examples: your spouse is in the hospital after a suicide attempt. Don't forget to repeat. The person in question lost consciousness in the course of the police action and died 3 days later in hospital. There are various methods of tubal ligation. All are done in hospital under local or general anesthetic. Over 100 magnetic door contacts operate in the hospital. Will I have to spend the night in the hospital to receive the treatment? Okay, now moving back to the previous night. Day 28, I guess. Yeah. At hospital or at the hospital. At hospital is usually used with verbs that require the preposition at after them, such as arrive at and stay at. One can arrive, stay, be, etc. at hospital as a patient or worker of the hospital. Examples: John arrived at hospital at 10 p.m. She works at hospital. The patient stayed at hospital overnight. At the hospital is very often used with the same meaning as hospital as at hospital. However, it is also utilized when speaking about visitors or things that are at the hospital. Example: he is at the hospital visiting his aunt. They have some great modern facilities at the hospital. We went to get care at the hospital. And when you arrived at the hospital, what was the prognosis that they gave you about the recovery? I know a good doctor at the hospital. Moving back to days 26, 27. Adding to on work or adding to on the work. Continuation. At the work. So at the work is particularly used in expressions such as at the workplace, look at the work of the designer, look at the work I've done, you are good at the work that you do. Example, Mom, look at the work I've done. In the work is normally used in situations such as I found some mistakes in the work that you did. We believe in the work that you're doing. I'm always busy in the workplace. Example, excellent job, Mike. I haven't found any mistakes in the work you've done. To the work is usually utilized in phrases such as he is committed to the work, they are returning to the work when they started to the work they started yesterday tomorrow. So one more time, they are returning to the work they started yesterday tomorrow. What was the critic's response to the work you created? Example, he is successful because he is committed to the work he is doing. On the work is usually utilized in phrases such as what's your opinion on the work that you see John doing? I'd like to commend to the three of you ladies on the work that you're doing. Example, he commended us on the work we've done. Okay, day 25. 24, 25. Add in to on the work or add in to on the work. We say at work when we mean we're currently doing our job. John's still at work. In work means you are involved in the work. It can be used with other similar to involved words. To involved in the words. It's merely a British usage. John was always in work right from the day he left school. She was the only one in the family to be in work. We use to work to say that we are on our way to work. Mary usually comes to work 10 minutes early. On work is used in work combinations such as on work days, to focus on work, to spend time on work, to have an impact on work, etc. Examples, don't focus on anything else but work. And day 23, add into college or add into the college. We say add into college when we mean that we actually are students at a certain college. We use both in college or college for slightly different situations. To be in college means to go to college. Add into the college. If you're making a general statement about what happens here and there, or saying that you are visiting a college, then it is normally add there, to there, or in there. Add in to college. Where were you the whole day today? I spent the whole day at college. He wasn't in college yet when he met his future wife. He wasn't going to college yet when he met his future wife. Adding to the college. I purchased this book from the bookstore at the college. It's my great pleasure to yield the floor to Rachel, who is a third year in the college, majoring in environmental science. Thank you for your dedication to the college in the past 5 years. He donated some drawings from the personal collection to the college. Well, I guess that's it. So the material is getting hard. Well, I guarantee you, I promise you that it won't get any harder. So that's the maximum of it. I'll keep it simple, sweet and simple. So that's it then. Have a good evening and good night.